Is the placebo effect bullshit?
I really think it is.
Now, that's quite a shocking claim.
Yeah, and it was a surprising conclusion for me to come from precisely for that reason. And I think that use of placebo as a blind, as a sort of noise mimicking device in a randomized controlled trial is very strong and powerful. But as for the placebo having some kind of healing power, I do think that is fake. And the existing science doesn't really support it.
What is the placebo effect exactly?
It's maybe an inert substance, a substance that doesn't do anything, like sugar or starch or something like that. And it could also be some kind of practice that's a placebo. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pill or an injection, something that's not supposed to have any healing power. And yet, within the placebo effect paradigm, somehow it does have healing power.
So let's talk about effect size here. So I have the latest version of the meta-analysis because they keep updating it. And this is the 2010 one, which I think was the last one. But I did go through the meta-analysis and I just said, okay, simple thing. If a trial had less than 100 people per group, I'm just going to throw it away. Obviously, I think there's some trials that have less than 100 per group that could still be valid. But when you're getting down to 20 people per group or 15 people per group, it's ridiculous. Like, that is just garbage. There's no way you're learning very much from that. This is comparing the placebo against no treatment to see if the placebo beats doing literally nothing. There were 9 continuous variable studies that had at least 100 people per group, and only one of them was statistically significant. But that blew my mind. 1 out of 9. And I was like, oh my God, that's bad. For continuous variables, for patient-reported outcomes, the effect size was about 0.26. And that means about a quarter of a standard deviation increase in outcomes relative to no treatment. It's a fairly small effect. And then for observer-reported outcomes, like maybe like a doctor reporting whatever, it was about half of that. It was a 0.13 standard deviations. Whereas with the binary variables, it was, barely an effect at all. If you average those together, you find a very, very small difference in favor of the placebo, but it's very small. So this suggests that a lot of the driving of that of the placebo actually working is actually coming from the tiny trials, really small trials.
So basically, if you're just including a bunch of low quality trials, if you have enough of them, you can get a big effect size, even if you have good trials to kind of average them with.
So I want to make sure that I play the role of devil's advocate here, right? I know so many people throughout my life that have taken some random supplement, some of which I think there's like pretty much no way the supplement works, like homeopathic remedies, for example, where you can literally do a test of the compound and you find there's 0 of the compound it's literally a sugar pill. But people take them and people are completely convinced that these treatments work for them. Like they are absolutely swear by them working and they'll take them for like the rest of their life. So like, if that's not placebo, what on earth is going on?
I think it's actually probably healthy. We don't have a lot of control over whether we feel better, especially something episodic like depression or chronic pain or something. You kind of know the next bad time is coming at some point. And I think if you get something that makes you feel like, oh, I happen to be taking this when I came out of the last episode, so that's what caused it. It made me get better. I think having that feeling of control is probably really healthy and adaptive to like, oh, I can fix it the next time it happens.
So my thinking on all of this is that I think there might be a small placebo effect. I do think it could vary for different outcomes, and I think it could vary for different contexts, but I think it's probably really, really small on average. I also think, and I just want to emphasize this again, I think the way you perceive things and your mindset matters tremendously and can our noticing of internal experiences, the way we process them, the context we give to them, really, really changes our sort of overall experience of things. But that's different than saying that when you're given a sugar pill, you're going to feel better. To hear the rest of this conversation, search in any podcasting app for Clearer Thinking with Spencer Greenberg, or check out the link in the description below.